everyone, Cheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Generation 1 Autobot Scoop. Unfortunately, Scoop is also not complete. He is missing one of his target masters. He is missing the hole punch. Hole punch anyway. The blue target master, and he does have Tracer, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm surprised that a vintage target master target master figure comes with the target master partner, but it is very simple, just heavy duty plastic, which is nice. It does feel sturdy, and it is a pin for the target master. Now, unfortunately, even though it does come with Tracer is a bit roughed up, and I don't think I have the right blue paint to touch up the face, but yeah, it's still pretty cool to have an original target master with this set, or with this figure. He is also pretty loose, kind of like Sure Shot, and he also was in kind of rough shape, had most of the stickers were messed up. I removed all of them, took them apart, cleaned them, removed the corrosion with a bit of steel wool on the pins that couldn't be removed, and then a wire brush for all the screws that were getting kind of corroded. But now he looks pretty much as good as new. And another thing I also did was I took silver paint and I just put a little bit onto a piece of cardboard or cardstock, and then just gently pressed each wheel onto it to get a perfect ring, or at least as close to perfect, because there is some damage to the wheel, so it's not 100% consistent. But I felt like it was the best way I could do it without it looking shaky or getting silver paint all over the rest of the tire. So I thought that was a nice little strategy to use, and I think it turned out really nice, and it really makes the tires pop. He is a very chunky fellow in robot mode, and I mean, his arms, they really don't stick out when you rotate them at all. It's just more of just like that's just how chunky he is. And his hands, they don't even hold anything, but I mean, it's still cool. In some ways, I think I like him a little bit more than Sure Shot, but I think that's also because he has a really cool vehicle. Not to get me wrong, don't get me wrong. G1 Sure Shot has a really cool vehicle mode. I just think that this construction Scoop looks really cool, or bulldozer, whatever you want to say. But he is very floppy, so he doesn't necessarily fall over a lot necessarily, but he does feel pretty unsteady on his feet. Just wobble, 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 wobble. I don't have Generation Scoop. It makes me wonder, though, if they're doing the other Target Masters, they might do an Age of the Primes, or whatever toy line they call it after Age of the Primes. They might do a Target Master of Scoop, and with Tracer and Hole Punch. But, I mean, I wouldn't count it too much. But I did have the Generations one, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Generations, or Universe, whatever line he was. But he was actually really cool. But I gave him up because I knew nothing about the character. I've always, to an extent, I've always been where if I don't recognize the character, even if the toy's kind of cool, I just don't really have any attachment to it, and I usually end up getting rid of them, even if the toy itself is actually really cool. I'm kind of weird like that. Although there is, like I said, there are some exceptions. The detail is somewhat lacking in the face. It's just pretty much yellow plastic with a little bit of, whoops, his chest is so big, I'm obscuring his face. But yeah, it's pretty much just yellow plastic with a somewhat yellowish white paint for the face. So it looks very drab, doesn't really pop. I'm sure I could do some customization if I wanted to, but I was doing my best to try to restore him to the original figure as much as possible when it would have been new. I mean, obviously it is a little worn out, so it's not nice and stiff like I'm sure it originally was back in the day. But I think I did a pretty good job. And of course, these are obviously toy hacks. They're not the vinyl ones. These are the more traditional stickers, which I think for the G1 figures makes it feel a little more authentic. Even though I do like the vinyl stickers, it just felt a little weird for Sure Shot to have vinyl stickers on a vintage figure such as him. And of course, as with Sure Shot and most G1 figures, transformation is a very simple affair. Just flip that around, flip the hands in. Come on, there we are. I think I might need to loosen the screw on this hand just a little bit, and then flip in, and then rotate down. Although this part can be just a little bit fiddly getting it because of the arms, but let's see. This should, there we are. I think, nope. Okay, I guess since he is pretty loose, I guess I can sort of finagle it, but it is kind of tricky to get it lined up just so. I'm sure I should have had him rotate up, then fold it in, but the clearance is a bit weird, so it is a little difficult to get lined up just right in my experience. But I do love this tractor mode, and he rolls like a dream. And then when he's rolling, the silver rings just look even more solid than before. But given his looseness, he does kind of wobble, but I mean, this just still, I think, looks really nice. And then with this bucket, there is a lot of motion. So I mean, even if you're looking at him as a straight scoop for a bucket, like, that is an awesome range of motion. So he works even as just a construction vehicle toy, which is more than some construction vehicles. Not saying all of the construction guns. Some of them, I think a couple of them didn't really have too much moving stuff, but then again, they were a combiner. They are a combiner team. But yeah, I think that this is really cool. I think this, and also you don't see a whole lot of construction vehicle Autobots, which is interesting because you think, you know, they're not war machines as much, which is why in some ways it feels kind of odd that Devastator, well, obviously the name implies, you know, a bad guy, but it's like you'd think a construction vehicle team would be the good guys, but you know, I mean, I still like them as the bad guys, don't get me wrong. I think Devastator is an awesome bad robot. And then for storage, you can put the guns here, or Target Masters here, or here. That is one thing. I think Target Masters was around that time frame, is when they started. So I guess technically the Headmasters cartoon, or that toy line, is kind of when they started going more towards weapon storage in vehicle mode, not to hide it, but really so that the vehicle could use the weapon in vehicle mode, which then probably made it less likely. But then again, kids are still kids, they're going to lose stuff anyway, but probably made it less likely that the weapons were just going to get lost. But oh man, I still can't really get over how well this rolls. It's just like butter, and doesn't really squeak either, so that's nice. Yeah. Oh, and another thing, some of the parts that were kind of corroded the most I was concerned about were these two pins on either side, and I was also afraid I was going to rough up the plastic too much, but I managed to get in there, like I said, with the steel wool. I took a little piece of steel wool and I just carefully just rubbed back and forth, and inched it, or just kind of wiggled it in there until I got it off, and boy is it worth it if you ask me. Anyway, I think I've been rambling on enough, and yeah, definitely I think one of the cooler finds I've had as of late. So that's about it for Transformers Generation 1 Autobot Scoop. I hope you liked this review, and if you liked this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.